Hello, and welcome back. Here you find us mid-build, and the entire thing is on fast forward, so you guys can watch this. The build will take maybe an episode, so let's just see how this goes. Right now, I'm still working on the basic structure, the base of the building if you will, and we're switching cameras here so we can see the rough layout of the bottom of the building, and its estimated size for the final build. It's a rather large house. It'll work for the time being. I may need to expand later, but that's fine. So here we are, fencing the bottom. You'll see the reason I do this later. It's both for design and for practical reasons. More for design in the areas that I'm using it then. But here we are, just planking the first floor. And it's already looking like a large house. I'm not sure there's any other way to describe it. But let's just let this go. So here we go, we're planking off the front of the house. And now we can see we've got a nice rectangular base with a definite front. Here we can see as we pan around that all the sides are the same. It's looking nice and solid, and it's looking kind of cool. The fence add a bit more depth to the edge of the house that just adding blocks wouldn't add. It's just a nice touch in my opinion. So here we go, back to the building. Now start laying on the front balcony for the house. Now we're going to have a front porch or a balcony if you will. Probably porch is the more correct word since it's not up from the ground. But we're going to have a front porch and we're going to surround that by fence. Now the fence enables a couple things. For one, on the front porch areas, it means that no mobs can actually jump onto the porch. So the only way into the house will be on the stairs that I actually lay up. But here we can see I've kind of settled on the height of the porch will be at, and I've started fencing off the sides. So this is looking good so far. We'll see how this turns out in the final build. I may change it partway through, or I might leave it as it is. It kind of depends on how it looks comparative to the height of the rest of the house. Okay, but because this is survival, of course, you have to sleep through the nights. Having a close encounter with the skeleton here, almost died, but whatever. Now I'm back up at the house. So I just make myself some basalt by smelting up the basalt cobblestone from mining it up, just to fill in the ground. And here we are adding in those fences that I talked about earlier, and as you can see, nothing can jump up onto the fences. The only gap through will be the one that I'm about to dig in the next shot. So here we go. Here I am just counting up the middle. A lot of building houses that work symmetrically and with double doors in the middle and whatnot have to be done through block counting basically. A large part of building in Minecraft is counting up blocks and figuring out where everything should go relative to each other because of that. So here's a little thing. When I'm building door frames, I try never to put the two vertical posts on the outside of the one going horizontal. It looks better if you kind of think about gravity. So here we have a log balancing on two others. It's just a small touch, but I sometimes use it because I'm a bit picky about things like that when I'm building. So here I am, I'm just deciding on the height of the first level of the house. I think I've got it about right here. I think I changed one of the posts later on. I think I got the front left one looking from the back slightly short, but I fixed that in a second. Yeah, so here we go. The structure of the house, the framework is looking good. So I start filling in the walls to give it some actual, house qualities. So here I am working out how many blocks from the edge I'd like the windows to be. Of course they have to be windows, otherwise it feels like it's just a white box. But here we are, I've settled on the height of the first floor, and I'm just filling up to that level now. The windows on either side of the door are going to be symmetrical, because it looks better that way. And just fill in the walls. The back wall is going to be solid, because the back wall is going to be used for things like machines, chest racks and others, and we don't really want to have a window rack getting in the way. But look, it's starting to look house-like already. It's looking good, and we're only part way through, we're only a third of the way through the build. But let's see, as we pan around, we can kind of see the starting of a house. It's looking a bit cube-like at the moment, so we'll see how I fix that in the next segment. Okay, so here we are again. just building a bit of a scaffolding staircase up to the top to work on the next level. Now I start putting them out, but then I decide that I actually want the next level of the house to go out one block. So I do this little thing here where I move each block out by one in the diagonal, and that'll form the next four corner posts of the second level of the house. So let's see, I've just done that for all four posts now, and I'm just reaching up to finish the levels. Now it's getting close to dark, but here we can see how the next level is going to work. I've just got one block out on every corner, and we'll build from there, practically like the first level, just one block larger. Technically two if we're going across and horizontal, but keep that in mind. Okay, so here I am just filling out the areas, and now we're going to fill out the logs on all sides to give it that framework again. Luckily doing the logs like this leaves a nice convenient one block level to plank in the middle. So looks like that's what I'll be doing next once I sort everything out. But look, here we go, we can kind of see the start of the next level. And that the logs will be the actual ground level, and here I am, I'm just going to plank them all over very quickly. We'll see how this looks. Now I've decided that for the inside of the house I'm going to go for a kind of half-half look. So half of the house is going to be planked, half of the house is you're going to be able to look all the way up into two levels. So here I am, I work out the center of the house comparative to the door frame, and I plank half of it plus the edge. So now I have a gap. And then the next level will probably have a gap over the one there, so it's kind of working its way up with two gaps going up the inside of the house. You'll see how it works in the final build. It's a bit confusing to explain now. But here I am settling on the height for the next level. I've got that more or less sorted, so I decide it's time to keep building on that. But as we pan around, you can kind of see what we're going for here. Okay, so I start filling in the walls just like the levels below. Now first I fill in the bottom level because I know that I don't want to have any straight to floor windows, and then I work out how high it's going to be. I decided to actually going to be one block shorter than the other by planking across the top of the 5 blocks high on the pillars instead of planking on top of that. Here I'm just roughly sketching out where the windows are going to be. I decided it looks a bit too fat in the middle, so I worked them out like that. Once I'm happy with the window shape, I keep that design, and I build onto the other windows around. Finish up the walls next. But as we can see in this panning shot, it's starting to look good. It's starting to actually build out the shape of a house. It's starting to look usable at the very least. But I'm not done yet. No, not by far. Okay, so now I just build out the walls on either side, and I keep the window shape of the walls below roughly. And as I said before, the back walls are all going to be solid, so as like the bottom one, I make this back wall solid too. I plank off the top of this as the last of the framework, and it's starting to look good. I just ran out of logs, which is why the panning shot is happening now instead of when I've finished the frame. Run on down to the EMC condenser and get myself some more logs, and then it's back to work. I'm putting some more scaffolding up here and finishing up the logs now. Okay, so now we can see the shot that I was going to get before. Now we have both frames done, but now we still only have 2 floors. Now I'm trying to decide what kind of roof I want to put on this, and I decide that I might actually want to put on 3 layers on one half, and going by the half-half scheme of the flooring, I'm going to have half a 3rd floor, which then slopes down with a roof. But the next thing here I'm demonstrating just why I've fenced off everything. You can't jump over the fences. And another practical reason of having the blocks coming out of the top is spiders. They can climb straight walls, but they can't climb over lips. So here, if you're sticking to the one surface, you actually can't get over the lip, which means I can be more free with my upstairs levels. I could take out windows, I can have an open plan roof. It doesn't really bother me because spiders and mobs can't get there as long as I use this rough layout. It means that the only entry into the house is through the front steps. Okay, but here I am just planking off the next floor. Now you'll see I'm going again with the half-half theme, alternating the sides which are and which are not filled in with planks. So I'm just counting out the center here and working out where I want my staircase to be. So I work out that if I'm going 5 high, I want my staircase to be roughly 5 along, and I want it to slant over the door. So I work out roughly where I want my roof to go to, or my next floor to go to. So here we have the next floor planked on, or the majority of it at the very least. And keep working from there. Okay, so we can see how the house looks backlit against the slime island, which is backlit by the sun, and it's looking good so far. It's looking nice and regal over the forest and on the top of the volcano. So it's going well so far. It's going well. It's a good first home, especially good to be moving straight out of a hole into something like this. But yeah, back onto the building. So I start working up on my third floor, on my half-third floor, and after calculating where I want the front planks to be, I decide that I want the slant of the roof to, because the platform is 5 blocks high, it means the slant of the roof is going to be 5 blocks along the house. So I want it to be roughly central. So I work out that I have to have either 2 blocks on one or 3 blocks on one. So I decide I'm going to have 2 blocks of the slant going over the door to give myself more space. So here I'm just working out the frameworks for the third floor. Now the stairs will be placed in this, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to get it to work. Start in wood, realize this is the wrong material, and switch to marble bricks. So we can kind of see how the final roof is going to look now, by looking at where everything's going to be planked. Now we can kind of see that white slant there of marble bricks on the top is where the roof is going to go up, and that frame box at the top is going to be the third floor half. Probably less than half, honestly, but that's fine. So here we go, just planking up the roof. And now you start on the laborious task of using steps to plank each one of the slants on the entire thing. Just throw a crafting table down quickly to get the steps crafted, and off I go. So you can kind of see how this is going to come together now. It's looking very good. Just going to make some more steps to finish this off. And we continue. We've finished the slant of the house. So it's looking good. We have a mostly solid roof now. So now I just plank over the last segment of the roof, and then the only step left is to finish the walls on the level 3 half, and then deck out the interiors. Get the steps working so that I can actually get between each level of the house and not use a ugly scaffold going around the outside. It's looking good so far. We see it against the setting sun, and it's good. Okay, so I'm back in the morning, planking across everything. I decide that the third floor isn't going to have any windows, purely because I want the third floor to be a very machine room, and I don't want any windows getting in the way. Also, adding an extra window would look a bit odd. I add some front pillars to the house to put lanterns on top of, just to kind of, I don't know, frame the doorway almost. I think it gives it a cool effect. So here we are. The house is pretty much complete. The only thing left to do are the inside staircases. This is the complete outside of the house, and it is looking really, really good. It's looking lovely. It's contrasting great with the logs we chose, and great with the mountain beside it. So here I am, just doing a bit of a temporary light up for the inside of the house, just so I don't get any nasties spawning on me while I'm building up the staircases. Wouldn't want a creeper about now to knock everything out of place. But yeah, I'm just building up the first staircase here. I started screwing a couple blocks into the next floor to give it an inset look. I used some logs to brace it so it looks almost realistic. Try to put in a support log, decide against it, knock it out. That's probably going to change later. Brick it all up. I leave the back open because I plan on putting a dig out there and putting in a little lab if I like. So I decided that the edge of this platform looks a bit bare. Doesn't look very good. So I decided to put in a log. Dig out the edge of the little rim to put the log in, just so it looks more like the gravity that I was talking about before. And it's looking good. So here's the staircase. Now, from this point, there's only interior work to be done. So I'm just going to skip back to that. So we'll see you then next episode. For now, the house is done. And when you come back, you'll see it even better. For now, bye.